you. Oh, it's mine. You know I got something to drink. Hey everyone, I see that you're saying there's a little bit of static coming through. Can you hear me okay? Again, we haven't done this in about 4 years. A little muffled, is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing? Mo better. Okay, Larry. Well, everybody, I want to say hi. Sean Dotson here with the Flip Side. We are the non-PC beer drinking thrill of the wait. It's not the thrill of the chase anymore. So I got to come up with some kind of new tagline with that. But if you're new to the show or old to the show, you know I always like to drink a beer. So today I'm going to be drinking one of my favorite breweries. This is the Santa Fe Brewery, and this is the New Mexico Standard. So I'm going to pop a top. Hopefully you have your beverage of choice. I'm going to pour that. Really not too much head. I hope everyone's doing okay out there. Been a long time since I've been on. Actually, I think the last broadcast I did was with Dale Neitzel, DeCall Thomas, and David, not David Kramer, but a different. But anyways, cheers to you all. Yeah, so I think that last broadcast was like July 7th of 2020. It was shortly after the Fen treasure was found. It was kind of a farewell. Kind of stayed in touch with the chase a little bit after that. And then it just got a little crazy. And I've kind of touched base a couple times, just checking some of the videos in the forums. Really, there's not much on the forums, really, at all. Discord, but I've really kind of stayed out of that whole thing. So anyway, you know, I just got wind of this treasure hunt maybe a few months ago. I was talking to Jens, the documentarian. We've talked back and forth several times, and he's actually the one that kind of told me about it. So I, you know, kind of looked up a few videos, got a little interested in it, and then ordered the books. So kind of why I'm doing this video now is there's been a lot of talk on some of the Facebook channels and other things. A lot of people haven't got their books. I think I was one of the lucky ones. I actually got mine a week ago, which would have been the 1st of November. And actually, I got two of them, so I can hold those up here. Yeah, I've got two of them. One that I'm kind of, you know, reading, and the other one I've kind of just set aside for other reasons in case I want to send one to somebody. I've got actually my son-in-law and daughter are out in Oklahoma. She's in the Air Force and he's in the Navy out there, and they're kind of big Pokemon people. So actually, I thought about sending them one and letting them get into the whole Pokemon, and we can talk about that a little bit. But just want to say hi to a few people out there in the that are in the chat room. And again, this is what happens. You know, it's been 4 years, guys. My eyes started going bad at 50, so now I got to throw these little readers on. Some of you can probably get with that. So Brian Gates, how are you? Maverick Searcher, howdy. Okay, Larry, Nomadic Madman, Treasure Warriors. Some of these names are familiar. Alan K, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Hooli, good to see you. GW. So just a few people in the chat. Again, it's kind of an odd time. I guess those on the East Coast might actually be off work or whatever, or have time to get on their communication devices and kind of check out what's going on. So just want to say hi to a few of you in the chat room. It's been a long time, obviously. I hope all of you are doing well. My life has gone through a lot of different little changes in the last few years. I kind of stepped away from my employer and started my own company here in my hometown of where I live, and that's going very well. Been very blessed by our community here, and things are going great. allows me to, take time off in the afternoon because I have a crew that can kind of run the business sometimes and get to spend a little more time with family and get to go do things like we're going to Disneyland here at the end of the month for Thanksgiving. So it's been kind of a every 2-year tradition we started doing a few years back. So yeah, we're going to go spend Thanksgiving in Disneyland. So yeah, awesome. I don't want to make this any kind of long video or anything today. I just really wanted to discuss this book a little bit because, again, there's a lot of people that, haven't gotten the book, and there's a lot of questions and a lot of different things out there. And I just wanted to give you a little insight and kind of my initial thoughts on the treasure hunt. Again, I'm excited. It's been 4 years away from the treasure hunt, which has been kind of good, really, because we know how much stress and drama there was in the whole thing. So it was kind of nice to step away from that for a while. I don't think I'm going to be as involved socially on forums or even on YouTube as I was before. I might, go on other shows if somebody invites me or something just to talk and share thoughts and ideas and things like that. But cheers. I do remember saying something to the lines of, if I had to do Forrest Fenn's hunt all over again, I probably would have stayed out of the forums and a lot of the YouTube channels and those things, because they tended to really kind of pollute my thoughts on, the chase and ideas. And confirmation bias was just a huge contributing factor to probably going down rabbit holes that we really didn't need to go down. And confirmation bias is kind of that, well, I can't define it anymore, but it's, finding things out that kind of confirm preconceived ideas. It's just basically you have an idea in your mind and then you go look for things that confirm that preconceived belief. And while ignoring all those things that were standing out that could have probably, sent you down the correct path. And, looking back on the 5 years that I was in the chase from 2015 to 2020 and kind of hindsight going back and looking things, and I can realize there was a lot of things that I could have done better and probably gone a different path. Again, poem purity was one thing I was really big on. Towards probably a couple years into the chase, I got more into that, and it kind of led me away from maybe where the treasure really was, which we all believe. That I know of, confirmation that it was there, other than, what we believe and things that we've heard. Again, I'm not fully up on the chase, as most of you probably are in the chat room anymore. 4 years I stepped away and that was it. But, some of my initial searches and everything were in the Yellowstone area. I don't think I was anywhere close to where the treasure was. I was more up near Rabbit Creek, which is up near Muleshoe Bend and that area, and then some other areas over near Harlequin Lake and down that area. I think one thing, if I could say that I think that I might have been onto, was the fact that I believe there was a river crossing in the hunt, and I think that did cross the Madison, which everybody thinks is down by my 9 Mile hole. And I think the consensus is that is kind of the area, and I would probably at this point in time really agree with that. And I don't know if there's really any other confirmation out there. Again, guys, I've been away from the chase for a long time, and I really just don't want to get back into that rabbit hole of the chase. I miss Fenn. I enjoyed the times that I did get to physically meet Fenn, at Fennbury at his home a couple times, and spent time with him and got to know him, on a personal level like that. So sometimes once in a while, I'll go back and listen to one of the old videos, because I do miss the old guy. He was very an interesting man and opened my eyes and things to a lot of different things out there. So cheers to everyone. So let's talk about this book a little bit. Again, a really, really nice book. I haven't read it, cover to cover yet. I've really only spent a few hours kind of reading some of the stories in here, which really remind me of the Venzas and Dale Neitzel's Thrill of the Chase website. So I think a lot of you, if you have the book and read it, you'll kind of agree with me that this kind of is tailored in that whole fashion. And there's roughly about 200 pages that are dedicated to kind of what is inside the treasure and each little thing that may be in the larger treasure box as well as spread out through the other 4 treasure boxes. And what he says in this, and I'll just kind of read it for those of you that don't have the book, and I've kind of highlighted this. There's actually 23 chapters in the first roughly 200 pages. And in the introduction, I highlighted a couple things, and I'll read these things out because I thought they were important, and I'm sure they might have stuck out to you as well. Again, I got to try and pull these readers out so I make sure I get these words right. And I'll check in on the chat here again real quick, guys. Everybody seems to be talking to each other, doing well. So one of the things that I highlighted that I found, this is on page 10 in the book. It's about halfway down. I highlighted it. To help you locate these boxes, I wrote 4 chapters. Each of these 4 chapters is dedicated to one box and contains the clues and information you will need to find it. I chose to create these 4 chapters as a way to avoid confusion as to what clues led to which box. And I thought this was good because I think in the initial videos and stuff that John had put out, he talked about there being 5 different treasures. So I was thinking, well, how in the heck are we going to differentiate in the book what clues belong to what? And that would be, to me, extremely difficult. So now that I have the book, I can kind of see what he did here. He did dedicate 4 separate chapters, and they're actually Roman numerals, and they're not chapters 24. I find it kind of interesting that chapter 24 is actually the Forrest Fenn box, and the number 42 was prevalent in the chase, and it's kind of backwards, 24, 42. So I don't know if that was intentional or just accidental. I thought it was interesting, and some of you might have picked up on that. And then he goes on to say, he says the 5th and final box is substantially larger than the other 4 boxes and contains inside it the lion's share of our valuable trove. There is no one particular chapter solved devoted to helping you find this larger treasure box. Instead, the clues and hints that will lead you to its hiding place may be found anywhere inside this book. For instance, there may be helpful information found here in the introduction. So I find that interesting. So again, you've got these 4 separate Roman numeral chapters that are dedicated to the 4 smaller boxes: the Fenn box, the Pokemon box, the Future box, and I can't remember what the other one was. But then, information to help you find the larger one can be found anywhere in the book. That includes those 4 separate chapters. And how I'm reading this, if somebody interprets that difference, that's how I read that. Moving along in this same introduction, there's one other thing that I found and I highlighted, and it said, and yes, some of the clues to finding the largest treasure box are found within the histories of these treasure items themselves. So in those first 24 chapters, minus the introduction here, he goes into talking about those items that you'll find not only in the large treasure box, but in the smaller treasure boxes, that these stories include clues. So that, to me, in these 200 different stories, and I've read just a couple of them, they're very good. I don't think he's quite the Fenn storyteller, and maybe that just could be because of his age, but he is a good storyteller, and I think he's a good writer. Obviously, he's got editors. Cheers. But I'm liking it so far. I haven't delved really deep into the book, the 200 pages that are the first 23 chapters. Again, just a couple of them, and they're good. I like them. They're interesting. I think he weaves, storytelling into this, much like Fenn did in his Venzas that were on Dal Neitzel's website. So it kind of reminds me of that, which is, gives you that warm and fuzzy a little bit. But what I really just wanted to talk a little bit about tonight, again, I'm a former Forrest Fenn treasure hunter. So I'm immediately drawn to the Forrest Fenn box. And I just want to go to that one real quick. So this is the, if any of you don't have the book, I'm kind of hide it up here. This is the chapter that's, it starts with the Forrest Fenn box, and you can see that here, the Forrest Fenn box. And that's chapter, again, 40 or 24, which again, there's that number 42 if you flip it backwards. For those number people, and they're always looking for hints and things, it may be something, it may be an ode to Fenn or something like that. But I find it really interesting because one of the things that I really, really was excited about, and I think a lot of people are, is, the olive jar. And there's a picture of it in here. And if you look really close with a magnifying glass or something, you can start to pick out some of the writing that's actually on those pages. One, actually, I think I can pick up the word wedding ceremony on those pages. If anybody else has the book and has looked at it, they may have picked up on that thing too. If you guys are really wanting me to see something that you're writing in the chat, if you do @Flipside or something, it'll kind of highlight it and I can pick up on it. Again, I'm 54 now. My old man eyes, it's really hard for me to pick up on those things with you guys. And you know me, if you know my old channels, I'm really good at ignoring the chat room. Cheers, guys. Especially the more beers I have. So I don't want to read the whole chapter. I don't want to spoil a lot of the fun for some of those that don't have the book. But one thing he did do is he did write a poem very similar. You can see it over here. I'm kind of backwards here. You can see it over there. That is kind of much like Fenn's. It's written the same stanza way. Again, 4 or 6 stanzas with 4 lines each. It's not 9 sentences, guys. So no 9 clues, 9 sentences. We can move on from that. But he does use a lot of the similar words and style of it. And I'm kind of picking up on what I think he's laying down on this. Again, I think there's a little bit of some of you that have this may have picked up on this. It does seem like he's kind of compartmentalizing that which may be the armchair kind of treasure hunt, and then what I believe transitions into a boots on the ground where you must be there, kind of like in Fenn's poem. I can almost probably memorize that thing. Let's see. Let me start again. As I have gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where, and hint of riches new and old. Begin it where warm waters halt, and take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk. Put in below the home of Brown. From there, it's no place for the meek. The end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. Now, where does it go? Oh no, did I forget it? There's no place for the meek. So why is it I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answers I already know. I've done it tired and now I'm weak. So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. I think I might have missed a stanza in there, but it's been 4 years, guys. Anyway, let me get back to this. Again, 6 stanzas, 4 lines each, not 9 sentences, nothing like that. But I'll just kind of read a few things in here that stood out to me. He said, Forrest Fenn's treasure was comprised mostly of gold coins and gold nuggets, which he had collected over his life. The piece of gold pictured below was the 6th largest nugget in Forrest Fenn's treasure. This one here. So, right there. It's a 2.5 or 2.25 ounce nugget was one of the largest ones that was in, he said the 6th largest one that was in Fenn's treasure. So that's cool. Not only is the olive jar, but this nugget are in this Forrest Fenn box as well. He said, having one of Forrest's gold nuggets in our treasure felt like the best way to represent the essence of his treasure that lay hidden for over 10 years. As a final nod to my experiences, mine being John Collins, looking for Forrest Fenn's treasure, I have written a 24-line poem in the style and stanza of the Forrest included in his memoir. My poem is inspired by my own experiences, searching in the Rocky Mountains north of Santa Fe. As you may be curious, I have traveled to all 4 states in Forrest Fenn's treasure search area. Now, I find that very interesting. He's not saying, again, he says here, my poem is inspired by my own experiences searching the Rocky Mountains north of Santa Fe. So when if you no longer have it and you start reading it, you start to kind of make a couple, inferments from that. And that being, as you may be curious, I think he's trying to clarify everything here. I have traveled to all 4 states. So he's not saying, you know, it's in the same state that Forrest Fenn's treasure were in. He's just confirming to us that he did look in each of these 4 states. So I think based on that, and the first line in this poem, which I'll get to, this treasure is in one of those 4 states, that being Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, or New Mexico, north of Santa Fe. But now he says here, while you don't need to know Forrest Fenn's poem in order to solve this one, you may want to go online and read it to give yourself some additional context. So again, you might understand a little bit of that inferment between Fenn's poem and this poem, again, where I think that armchair may end, and then the actual physical boots on the ground within the poem itself may happen. But everything you need to know to arrive at a fairly close search area for our hobnail treasure box can be found within my poem below. So this sounds a lot like, you know, Fenn, why he said there's subtle clues within his book. All, you know, again, me as a poem purist, and I got a lot of heat for that. And again, I didn't find the treasure, so poem purity may not have been the right way to go. He's saying that all the information you need to know to arrive at a fairly close search area for the treasure box can be found within the poem below. So again, you know, the whole poem here, and I'll read it real quick. It says, I cruise along a road I know and park my car just off the side, near where I'd search for heavy loads. It was not there, although I tried. Begin it where cool water flows and follow through the canyon round. Take it in the rolling highs and lows, pass by a place where once was brown. From here, you are more on your own. The path is always drawing nigh. The compass points now towards the home of point and tree and seeing eye. Just stop just beyond the camper's blaze. A thinker's stone is all you need. There's that semicolon. The spot is set with marvel gaze. A white mark shows upon the seat. Near here, it's nestled all in dream. I've other treasures left to hide. I'll miss the golden bending stream, but I must go back to my ride. So listen well and hear me all. Your efforts will be worth the high. If you can mark where warm waters halt, you'll bring it back full weight and dry. So that's his poem. And again, if anybody's interested in getting just a snapshot or a picture of it, I'm more than willing to send that to you. You can look me up on Facebook and direct message me or something, and I'll take a picture of it for you and send it to you if you don't have the book and you're just curious of having that. Cheers. But the inferment that I take out of this initially, and maybe some of you might be picking up on this. And again, guys, I'm not an expert. I don't know anything. I haven't had any boots on the ground. I don't know where the treasure is. Never talked to JCB. Probably won't. I kind of get the inferment. If he's saying that he's saying that he did look in all 4 treasure states, and, you know, his poem is written based on his experiences. He's saying, I cruise along a road I know and park my car just off the side of the road, near where I had searched for heavy loads. So it seems to me where he hid this treasure is a place that he searched before. And someone, sorry, did the flip side start a money laundering business? No, I did not. I did not start a money laundering business. But again, I kind of infer, he's saying in here, if his experiences or his poem is written on his experience, and he's saying it's, you know, where this location is near where he searched for heavy loads. And he's saying that he searched in all 4 states. Again, we get that inferment that, of course, again, my opinion, that it's either got to be in Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, or New Mexico. And it's near a place that he kind of thought where heavy loads is. And then it goes from there, you know, begin at where cool water flows. Again, it's a whole thing. Now, where, you know, he's parking his car and he went off to look for heavy loads, is that where cool water flows, all this? Again, I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to pollute or give any kind of confirmation bias to you guys. I don't know how involved I'm going to be in this chase, you know, openly, socially, on YouTube or otherwise. I'm always open, you know, to just, you know, talking with people and discussing. this whole thing because I think it's fun. But I don't want to lead anybody in wrong directions. So again, just a few inferments I've taken from it. I'm excited about it. I don't know how much I'm going to get into any of these other stories. You know, the Appalachian Trail one and the Pokemon one. I might send this other book to my son and daughter because they're kind of Pokemon people. They play Pokemon Go. They're big collectors, everything else. So I may send it to them to allow them to get involved in that one. But, you know, there is one curiosity that I wanted to share with you guys, and I did post this on both the official and unofficial There's Treasure Inside Facebook groups. But each of these treasures comes with this coin, and it's some kind of commemorative coin that this Seth guy had put together to put in the coins. And I find it interesting because in each of the pictures, John says, pictured here is the front and back of the commemorative coin Seth Gould made to accompany this treasure box. Now, if you don't know, each of these treasure boxes is actually a puzzle box, and you have to, you know, surmise how to open this puzzle box. But he openly says that each puzzle box comes with a set of instructions on how to open it so you don't damage it. So I infer from that this coin is not any part of trying to open the box, because a coin is obviously, or I assume, is within the box. And I could be wrong in that assumption, but maybe, you know, JCB could confirm or deny that or something to let us know. But if it's actually inside the box, I don't think the coin is needed for that box. But what I find interesting, and I'll flash this up again for you guys. I'll show you, is if you look at the, I can get it here. Sorry guys, I'm not great at this. But this coin here looks like a part of the treasure box. The one side of the coin looks kind of like the top of the treasure box. And some of you may have picked up on this, or will pick up on this if you haven't got the book yet. But if you go to some of the other stories, let's flip over to the Pokemon box. It'll show that coin as well. And here's that coin. You can see that coin, the symbol on the back here is a little bit different. And there's the one side and the back side of the coin. You can see them. And then again, it kind of mimics the pattern of the box. The one side of the coin does. You can see it there on both sides. And so do the other two coins. And if you don't have the book, and again, you're wanting the pictures of these coins and stuff, I'm more than willing to send them to you. Again, just look me up on Facebook. My old email has been hacked. I don't have that anymore. I can't get into it. So, you know, you can't send me emails there. I'll probably put a new one together if people want to communicate with me. But what I find interesting about these coins is that each one of the coins has this different symbol on the back. And I'm wondering if that symbol has anything to do with potential clues for the larger treasure box, because each of them are different. So I don't know. That's just kind of one of the curiosities I've thrown out there to the Facebook groups and asking them, has anybody else come up with any kind of thoughts on the significance of these coins, if there is any, if it's a red herring or maybe it has something to do. But he did say that there are clues for the larger treasure box found anywhere within the book, which includes these 4 chapters for the 4 separate books. At least I'm inferring that. Cheers. Check on the message group here. Denise Bagley, how are you? Yeah, it could be the key to, it could be a key to open those individual boxes. Denise, I don't know. I just find it interesting that, you know, he did show pictures of those, and they're commemorative coins that go with them. And if they're inside the box, then they couldn't be key to opening that individual box, because he did give us instructions on how to open them so we don't damage them. But again, I may be reading into it too much. Just a thought to throw out there, just something to discuss about. But again, guys, I didn't want to make a long video or anything that you have to sit here and watch for 2 hours or something to get anything out of it, if anything at all. But really just wanted to say hi to everybody. And for those people that haven't got the book, just kind of give them a little bit of insight to what I've seen and what I'm reading so far. I'm going to get more into the book. Again, I'm probably going to focus on the Forrest Fenn box more than anything, because that's kind of near and dear to me. And to most of you, I think that we're part of the fin hunt. And I know there's probably a lot of new hunters out there that probably don't even know about the forest fin treasure, and that's probably better, you know. But really just wanted to say hi to you all. Again, I don't know how often I'm going to do videos, if at all, but it's good to touch base with you guys again and say hi. And I look forward to speaking to you guys in the future. So again, I'll maybe put an email together for you guys to be able to reach out and say hi, but you can look me up on Facebook, Sean Dotson, and say hi or friend me or whatever, and we can stay in touch. Again, I'm going to be on Facebook there's Treasure Inside Facebook groups. There's one that's unofficial, and then one I don't know if it's official or not, but there's an unofficial one and that other one. But I am on there. I'll briefly be saying hi on there and stuff, so maybe I can catch some of you guys on there. So again, hi everybody. It's good to see you all, and we hope to catch you on the flip side. Have a good night, guys. Now I got to figure out how to end this later.